few record a video analyzing my fight and trying to make it among the best. And in this competition, I fought good international fighter. I would love to get your opinions. I will upload the full video if you're up to it. Thanks in advance. Of course I can. In this video, we are going to discover what are the mistakes of an amateur black belt. If you want to watch the second round of this video, click the like button and help me to get at least 60 likes on a video on my channel. This guy is the red player. The first mistake that I can watch is the distance. The first kick was a very good opening. He was able to hit an open spot, but the second one is not as good and the opponent was able to block it for a simple reason. Can you tell me what is this reason? I'll let you 3 seconds to block the video and write down your thoughts. 1, 2, 3. The reason is the distance. On the first kick he was at a square of distance from his opponent, so it was very close. On the second one there were 2 squares of distance. He lost a moment with a double step and the opponent had the time to block the kick. Just in a few seconds we can understand the importance of knowing the range or our attacks in a fight. In my opinion, this first kick was not bad, but the problem seems the technique. This is a problem that I think every player will have, because we train too much on pads, we don't train a lot on real sparring, so when we are going to kick those type of kicks, our body has the habit to hit pad and not a real helmet. So as we can watch, to score with this kick he had to push a little bit more, so he had to lunge on the opponent helmet, but this problem, as I tell you, is something that every player have, and that's because we train too much on pads instead against real fighters. This is a very good defense. He dodged both side kicks, but he decided to strike from a further distance. What I think in those few seconds that he should work more on learning what is the distance to strike his kicks. For most of people is 1 square, for smaller people is half a square. So if you are far from your opponent, you need to take some steps, or you need to do a slide plus kick. So you need to close the distance first without running or walking towards your opponent, and then you can strike your kicks. Or you let too much time to your opponent to react and respond to your kicks. While the blue was able to score with this crescent kick, the red counter was a good counter in my opinion, so the problem in this action is not his technique, but his attitude. This is the same attitude that every people in the world have. When they do something good, they lower a little bit their guards. And if you watch some tennis game, most people lose points due to this mistake, because they think they did a nice shot and the opponent couldn't catch that ball. So they give up the action. In the same way, I think that in his mind, he performed a nice kick, so he gave up a little bit and preferred to block your opponent's leg, instead of moving out or strike again. So it's not a proper technique mistake, it seems more a mindset mistake in this case. And trust me, this is not very simple to fix, because you have to change years of fight and life experience, because this is an habit. So when you fight, you have to think a little bit with a negative mindset. You have to think that your opponent is going even to respond to your kicks. So you have to be ready to strike, receive a counter and strike back. And if you think that one of your blows would stun the opponent, that's a very bad way to fight, because you are going to get also some injuries. And I got a KO for this reason, because I thought that my kick was a good strike, so I was ready to receive a spinning hook kick on my jaw. So I went KO. Sometime happen. As we can watch, a black belt compared to blue or red can read the open spot on the opponent guard, and they can perform well counters, like this roundhouse kick against axe kick. But again, he missed the right fighting attitude. And that's also why you need to push your opponent. He gives you 3 points with this kick. You need just to strike with multiple roundhouse kick. And in my opinion, you had at least 2 more points in this situation if you kicked at least 3 or 4 more kicks. If you watch the next second, we can understand that the blue has a lot of openings, as I told you, so he can easily get even more points with the right attitude. There is a nice hook kick, then a beautiful block, and a small mistake, because he let the opponent push him, but we can still learn something. The problem when our opponent pushes us is that they unbalance our body. So you need to fix our posture to kick properly, and to avoid this situation we have to break, not literally, the opponent's arm. So you have to use a rapid outer movement with our arms to push out the opponent's arms. And this way, by throwing our arms on the opponent's arms like we are punching the opponent's arm, we can break this opponent momentum and we are going to crash with our chest probably. Then in this spot we can flex our arm, create some space, and we can continue to strike with our kicks. And few seconds later he did what I told you and was able to take 2 points. As we can watch, on 3 kicks only 1 scored, and this is the reason why I tell you that you need to strike multiple kicks, because the more you strike, the higher the chance to score. Because remember, this is a point game, it's not a real fight, but it is a fight based on scoring. I think the referee doesn't know well the rules, because he has seen a penalty to the wrong guy, the blue kick to the nut of the red, and the referee has seen the penalty to the red. But if we are going to think that we have seen a penalty for the red for this situation, because he was a passive player, people are going to fight to smash the opponent's ball. So that's the reason why he should have just stopped for a few moments the fight and maybe assign the penalty to the blue for kicking under the belt. In this moment we can watch a very bad habit of the red where he tilts the upper body and block with his hand the opponent's leg. But this is a very bad habit because if you tilt your body towards your opponent and you are fighting a very fast fighter, he can easily break your jaw. So if you want to act like Dae Lee Hoon, you have to tilt your body on the opposite side, because we are not Dae Lee Hoon, we make mistakes. So we have to prevent those mistakes, and to prevent those mistakes we have to use different type of movements. In this case we need that our body is tilted on the opposite side of our opponent, so we can block the leg and we can be safe from high kick. The spinning hook kick in my opinion was very good, but should the problem of every single fighter in the world. We train too much with the pads, as I told you already, and we are not able to read the right distance. So to score with a spinning hook kick we have to be very close to our opponents. We need that our foot is more close to the opponent's foot, or we're not going to score on the helmet. And we are able to score on this distance only if it's a counter kick, so the opponent is performing an attack. Anyway, I proved this action, I advise you to just improve it and do a longer step with this spinning hook kick. In my opinion this is one of the worst mistakes of this round, so please pay real attention to what he's going to do. He ran toward his opponent. In this case his opponent wasn't smart, but if the blue struck a nice side kick or any type of high kick, this would be a 100% a KO, because his face is full open towards an opponent counter. So never run towards your opponent, you have to step in or slowly step in or maybe slide in with a kick. Never walk or run towards your opponent. The next combo of this guy was very good, and congratulations for the effective combo, and this is the right attitude that you need to use in every single combination. So in your mind you want to strike multiple kicks, never focus on kicking just once, focus on kicking multiple kicks, because as you can watch you can do that, and this is very effective to win fight. In most of cases opponents are a little bit confused, so they are trying to block and you are going to score a lot of points. And the same action tells us that the blue is not able to fight properly in clinch, because also most of the red points were made in the clinch. So if you are going to fight against this player another time, I advise you to focus on playing the clinch, strike multiple kicks when you are in a clinch situation. It's something that we can learn from this red tool, and that's how to counter press and kick in clinch. And when the opponent tries to score with a clinch, you have to push and hug your opponent, because if you hug and push your opponent you are not going to let any free space to kick. The mistakes of the red in my opinion are even the same. He starts his kicks from a too far distance, he doesn't know very well his kicking range, so when he performs those type of kicks he creates a lot of openings, and the opponent has all the time to respond correctly to his actions. And we can watch also the blue how punish for this mistake. In the end of this first round, it was very good to defend his lead. By using side kick to block the opponent movement, he was able to read the spinning kicks, he was able to read the roundhouse kick, and he also scored more points. My thoughts about his first round are that you are bad as you think. In my opinion, your strongest point are clinch actions, so you have to push your limits and skill even more in this direction, focus on learning how to clinch without risking your life, and improve your attitude by kicking multiple times, because as you can watch, you can score a lot of points when you kick a lot of times. Instead, your weakest point in this moment are your skills of reading the right distance, so you are not able to find the proper distance when you fight, and please fix it as fast as you can, because when you are going to fight a skilled fighter, they can cause you a KO. Be careful. As last, I advise you to some muscle strength training to reinforce and avoid injuries, and work more on combination. So prepare like 4 or 5 combination for clinch situation, so that you don't need to think on what to do, so your body is going to work over your mind. If you want to get a more in-depth Taekwondo guide, subscribe to this channel and join my Telegram and wait for the next round.